Welcome to the Imagine Not Being Leeds.
Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds. Now then, everyone, I hope you're all good. Welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds for a bit of a preview, a bit of a chat about Leeds versus Forest on Friday night at Elland Road. Under the lights, more importantly. Gives me a lot of more confidence than it would if it wasn't. But yes, we will get into the bits and pieces. I hope everyone's doing well. Please do me a favour. Please smash a like on the video. Would really appreciate it. Let's see who's currently in the house. Hey, up top, Banana. Evening all. MOT, how we doing, mate? Tickle those lights for that. Matty, thank you. Dave. He's watching Rangers game. Not too happy. How you doing, buddy? I know you're all joking. Says, as always, how are you doing? How you up easy, mate? Hope you're good. I'm not worried. West Ham are 6 points behind and are unlikely to win 2 games more than Leeds before the end of the season. Crystal Palace will finish with the worst form, in my opinion, even though they've signed our guy. Not so our guy. Interesting. I mean, I think we stay up, but if they beat Burnley, which is highly likely, and we lose on Friday night, it does come a little bit more nervy, mate. It's not out of the realms of possibility that they could win, 2 games more than Leeds. It's not out of the realms of possibility. But, yeah, I agree that I think we'll be okay, but we do have to win our own games, or the winnable own games. We have to be targeting wins, and we've got quite a few of them coming up, which we'll have a look at later on in the show. Hi all. Hey up, Rich Bedford. How you doing, mate? Hope you good. Don't think it's a must-win, says Top Banana, but I want to win it. And if we don't, I don't want to hear any negativity about Leeds for the rest of the season. Come on, 10th or 11th. It looks a million miles away as 10th or 11th at minute, mate. But a win on Friday will soon start turning it around. Steve Brown, definitely a must-win for me. I'm the same, Steve. For me, it's a must-win. Don't get me wrong. AG says this all the time. He goes, yeah, it's a must-win until you don't win it, and then it's not a must-win, is it? Because if we win it, if we lose it, and, even if West Ham win, we're still 3 points clear of them. We're still not relegated just because we lost that game, or they lose and we're still 6 points clear. So it's not actually, a must-win until you lose and you get, you're bottom 3 or you get relegated. But I really don't agree with that. I look at the games we've got left and the home games, Wolves, Burnley, these. We've got some really winnable games at home, a good 5 or 6 that we need to be targeting 3 points in. Brighton have got to come to Elland Road. There's a lot of sides who I think it's quite a favourable tie between now and the end of the season. And yeah, you don't have to win them all, but we have to win at least half of them for me. If we could pick up, I think we need maybe 4 wins ideally, but a lot of people saying 3 wins, 3 draws. Farker said it today in his press conference, 3 wins, 3 draws. Not that he's targeting just 6 games that we don't get beaten out of the 14. He's targeting, to be good in all of them, obviously, but 4 wins, and we're just about there for me. A couple of draws, yeah, but I think our home games, we can get those 3 or 4 wins just at home. Regardless of what we do away from home. And let's be fair, we're not going to get beat on the road every game. We've been picking up points away from home, which is fine. They always say draw away from home, which is brilliant. A lot of draws, too many draws recently, but we've been picking up those draws. Now, the home games that are coming up, which we have got some really favourable ones in the next 14 games, or the last 14 games, we do need to be picking up wins in them. JB, I hope you're okay. I'm good, mate. A win is a must, mate. No excuses for the lads. Nothing, mate. I don't want to hear Fark excuses. Yeah, I'm the same, JB. I mean, again, I'm not going to lose my head. We'll see how we go. Depends on performance. Depends on, the lineup, the tactics. You obviously see my lineup to the left-hand side. That's what I would pick. Again, it was a tough one to sort of decide on this week. Really tough. Obviously, Anton Stack's out. We got news of that today, which is brutally painful. He's going to miss Chelsea as well, which is gutting. I'm going to Chelsea, and I'm going to Stack's not going to be there. But I do think with Stack being out, I think you need someone who's half decent on set pieces. And we've seen when Stack wasn't taking them earlier in the season, we saw Longstaff taken for a period, and he seemed okay at the time. We were quite happy with his delivery. Stack took it to another level. albeit not quite good against Arsenal, but Stack's delivery has been pretty good. I'd say Longstaff's delivery isn't too far behind if he has a decent performance. So I think Longstaff should play in that midfield, although I took Tanaka in, out, shook it all about quite a few times. And Okafor, again, I'm not too sure is doing it at the minute, but I think that's the more likely player to play up there if we do play a 3-4-3. I would like to see Buonanotte start, but again, after Farke's press it today, I feel like he poured cold water on Buonanotte a little bit, doing the whole need to see, not saying that I need to see more in training, but that's where he needs to, show his performances. He treats training like a match day sort of environment, and he expects the levels to be right up there. So it's, listen to how we spoke about Buonanotte today. I think he's still got quite a way to go before he starts, in my opinion. Be interested to get your opinion. But I do think a 3-4-3 would be my favourable lineup again, although it doesn't really matter about the base formation. As Farke always says, it's about the application and the effort. And 8 o'clock under the lights at Elland Road, I expect it to be rocking. I really do, and I think it'll be a nervy one until hopefully we go one up. I do think it'll be quite a nervy atmosphere. It feels like a huge game. This feels like a really big game. John Part, how you doing, mate? All right, Matty, watch that video you put out yesterday. It takes a proper man to share his concerns and struggles in life. Thanks, John. Really appreciate that, mate. Really, really appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for all support to everybody from that video yesterday and people watching it today. Really appreciate it. It meant a lot. So I've been getting through comments. I've replied to a lot. I've still got a few more to reply to because it's just been off the scale, which I will get back to later on tonight, and I'll reply to the rest of them. So thank you so much for that. Cheers, John. Dirty Leeds, I'm not going to the game on Friday. Couldn't get a ticket, and I've decided to, because I'm going to Chelsea midweek and I'm going to Birmingham with Arthur next weekend, I've decided to give this one a miss, mate, because I'm not blundering into money, you know what I mean? But I couldn't get a ticket anywhere. I tried, couldn't get one. So I'm actually going to do a watch along. I think this might be the first home game this season I've missed. Maybe second. I think it's first game I've missed this season at home. But I'm going to watch along, and we're going to go straight into late night Leeds as a instant match reaction / let's have a late night Leeds show on that as well. So that'll be decent on Friday nights. I'll be back-to-back streams. What happened with bridging the gap? I didn't get home till late, top banana. I couldn't guarantee a time I was home. It was supposed to be on Wayne's channel, obviously. But because we couldn't organise, I wasn't sure when I got in. When I got in, I decided to do a quick pre-record and put that out instead. But yeah, we're too late to sort of book it in with Wayne. Because I was, working a bit too late yesterday. Hey up, Bill. Evening, everyone. A win will boost my confidence after the window. The starting 11 will tell a story to our attacking prowess. Yeah, and that's where I've gone with that side. I've gone with a much more attacking side. Let's hope that's the case. Hey, Matt, just getting my fix if Imagine Not Being Leeds. Cheers, Steve. Really appreciate that, buddy. Really, really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm okay, John. Hope you're good, mate. Gipton, White, evening all. A blow losing Stack, but an opportunity for Tanaka to re-establish himself. Well, Gipton, White, I am putting him in my lineup, but I hope he's in Farke's lineup. I won't lie. I'd love to see Tanaka start. I just think he may go Longstaff. He may even go Gruev, which I hope he doesn't. But I'll say it has to start over Gruev or Tanaka. We can't sit deep versus Forest. Farke has to get this right. Yeah, I agree with that. I start Beal instead of Justin, Buonanotte instead of Okafor. Buonanotte instead of Okafor was my initial lineup, and then I changed it just based on having to think about how he spoke about him in the presser. And Beal's been out for a few games. I'm not too sure he'll come straight back in. I actually thought about, my preference, maybe it might sound a bit daft, but maybe just match them up at a 4-2-3-1. Do we need 3 centre halves in there against Forest? Yeah, potentially they've got some great players, but I really want to see some attacking intent on Friday night. I want to see us go. I said this about Arsenal, you just go for it. I'm a bit I sort of view every game like that for Leeds United. I think our best form of defence is attack. I think we've got some great attacking options. Farke just haven't been using them of late. And I understand in certain games you've got to be a bit more cautious. And these have some great players. They have some great players in form. They haven't lost in 4. They picked up a bit of form. And if you let them play, they will do. So we need to be tight. It's not going to be an easy game, but I do think we need to play to our strengths. And I think playing to our strengths is getting that ball up to Calvert-Lewin as quick as we can and getting people running off him. And there's no need to be sitting back. Not at home. Hope February started better than January, mate. Thanks, Top Banana. Thank you, buddy. I would put Melier back in there. Oh, Seth. A little bit of news on him. Come out today, didn't it? Besiktas are looking at signing him. Evening, Richard. Hope you're good, mate. Hope Pirro has a chance to prove all his doubters wrong. All he needs is a goal, especially as DCL has gone off the boil, but could supply the ammunition for DCL. Hey up, Lee. Hope you're good. Yeah, I don't think DCL's gone off the boil, but goal scoring wise, he has. He hasn't scored in 4 or 5 now. I would love to see Pirro have a go up top with him, mate. I really would, but I just don't think it's going to happen. JB Leeds. Matt, honestly, we are all Leeds. Takes balls, to be honest, in front of people you don't know. Well, some of you do, but most you don't. So big respect and have a lot of love, mate, for you. Thanks, JB. Yeah, right back at you, man. Thank you. Means a lot, pal. Means a lot. Yeah, it really does. Thank you. Are you not doing a vlog outside church, even if you're not got a ticket? No, I'm not. No. So yeah, I'll be on stream, watch along, and then late night Leeds straight after. Smash the like, guys. Thank you. They are missing players, aren't they, Forest? Yeah, they are, mate. They've got no Chris Wood, but he's been out a while. No Hudson Odoi, I think he's got a shoulder injury. And they're missing Nico Williams. Got suspended for a really good save on the line in his last game. Thought he was a goalkeeper for a few minutes. So he's out too. But things with Nico Williams being out, they've just signed Luca Netz, a player that we should have signed for £2 million. We should have definitely signed Luca Netz. We didn't. They did. And he may come in for his debut at left back instead of Nico Williams. So that's a little bit of a blow. The fact they've been able to bring a player who I think Leeds should have targeted for £2 million. They brought him in, and now we're sort of left short in that position if we get an injury, which is a bit of a shame. Because, like I said, for £2 million, they've done some really smart business of Forest. I mean, they brought in Luca Netz, left back. They brought in Ortega. Let's be fair, £2.5 million for them too. Could have loaned Ortega for 500 grand and Nets at full, left back for £2 million. So for £2.5 million, they brought in two players there that would have elevated our quality and depth. They even brought in Lorenzo Luca, who may start tomorrow. Igor Jesus usually plays up front for him, I think. Now Wood's out. Target man, really good player. Don't mind him at all up top, but they have got Lorenzo Luca, who I've heard is a bit of a trouble causer, so I'll be interested to see if he makes his debut. But they brought in quite a few players. They already had a lot of talent in there, the Forest, so it's not going to be an easy game at all. Hope all is good. What's the injury update? The injury update is no Metcher and no Stack, which is the worst news possible. He's a set-piece taker, and I think on his day, one of our better players. He's not, don't get me wrong, he's a little bit inconsistent at times. He doesn't play, to his full potential every game, but that's going to be tough playing for Leeds United in this league. But I think when he's on it, I think Anton Stack's irreplaceable in there for the work he does off the ball. His creativity on the ball, his set piece delivery, his physicality, his height. It's a big miss. It's a big miss, and I feel like it's been a long time since Leeds have had anywhere near a full strength side, and it's really irritating now. I mean, we've got Dan James back, which is a good bit of news. We were back in contention last game, but he's pushing now for minutes. Hopefully we see Dan James in some capacity. I think as a bench option, James is going to be vital to us this season. I really do. I think he's going to have a really good impact off that bench for us. But yeah, that's where we are with injuries. Metcher and Stack are the worst ones, and it's not good. Paul Cooper, not been commenting much lately, mate. That's fine, buddy. As I'm suffering from vestibular migraines and screen time kills me. Yeah, I bet it does, mate. Don't want to watch my ugly mug, mate. I will give you an headache. Appreciate that, mate. But I caught your vid yesterday. I wanted to offer my support. Keep fighting, pal. Thanks so much, Paul. Means a lot, mate. Thank you. I don't know what to say when I get support. It's mad. It's mad how many messages I've had. I really, really appreciate that, Paul, and everybody else talking about the video yesterday. Thank you so much, man. Love you all. Yeah, I hope you get better soon too, mate. I'm not Seth. No, I'm not, mate. Home games, I get to all of them, but I'm not going on Friday. Nets and Ortega on very big salaries at Forest. We'd be paying Nets more than we're paying Gabby just on the bench. But obviously I didn't know that. I don't know where that's come out. But if that's true, then I understand it. I seen Leeds say the deal was sort of there and they decided not to do it. I know wages, depending on what salaries people get and stuff, it can maybe upset the apple cart and the group harmony, which Farker's massive on and don't want to do that. I get that, but the fact it was £2 million, is more than £2 million. So maybe it's a bit of a layman's terms for me, but I always look at it and think you can pay a bit more on wages if the fee's cheap. People go on about when we signed DCL's on 80 grand, 90 grand a week, loosely reported, or people suggest he's on that money, which he probably is. But the fact, with a free transfer, I don't mind paying more on wages if it's not costing you much up front. So yeah, I get that. If he's on more than Gabby, it would have been hard. But then again, Luca Netz, who's to say he's not as good as Gabby Goodmanson? This is what I mean. We be thinking we need backup for him, which is what we do. But Luca Netz potentially wouldn't have been backup for Gabby. It'd have been competition for Gabby, and maybe would have rightly been on a similar wage to Gabby, if not maybe more. We'll see how he does at Forest. If he ends up being half a player that I think he's going to be in the Premier League, then it's going to be one we've missed out on massively. Because for £2 million, great. And Ortega again, yeah, it was an hard one with that because we've got too many keepers as it is. We've got technically three I say 3 starters, but Melia started in Premier League, played a lot of games. Obviously, Perry came in as first choice, and now currently Darlow is first choice. So we've actually got 3 sort of first choice keepers in there. So to bring another one of Ortega's stature would have probably been too many. If Mez were to leave, for Besiktas, which we've seen come out today, their transfer window ends on Friday, so there's a bit of time for Mez to maybe move on to Besiktas after they move their focus from Perry to Mez. They must have got told quite strongly, no matter what you offer, Perry won't go. It'd have to be a lot more than we paid for him, which he hasn't been worth that as it stands. But yeah, I understand with wages and stuff, it's not ideal, but I would have loved them in. Like I say, I don't pay the wages. I just want my team to bring in, the best players I can. And I was a little bit gutted to sign them too, because I think that just regardless of wages, that will elevate Forest. You know what I mean? That gives Forest quality and depth. Leeds Chesterton, I think we will need more than 40 points. West Ham and Forest ain't your usual relegation threatened team. They will and are playing better. They have strength. Yeah, Lee, I say this every stream. And I always wait for my mate Bob Young to pop up and say, because Bob Young swore blind, it's 34, 35, you stay up. And at times, I've been high 30s, to 40, and then I've dropped right down after seeing how poor West Ham have been. Now, all of a sudden, I look at it now and think West Ham are scoring goals. They've strengthened. Forest have strengthened. It sounds daft, but could you imagine? Because I could. Leeds hitting 38, 39, 40 and still getting relegated. It sounds wild. I don't think that happens, but I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility for West Ham to sort of go, neck and neck with us, really. I really don't. What I will say is this next run of 4 or 5 fixtures, if Leeds United are still outside the bottom 3, and I mean even by a point, even if they close that gap by 3 to 6 points, West Ham, which they might do, they may close it to 3 this weekend. I hope they don't. Obviously, hopefully it stretches to 9, but I expect West Ham to beat Burnley. I do. So we've got to get a win for me, otherwise that gap closes. But I do think if we can remain in front of West Ham after these next 3 or 4 games, I think our last 10 games are very favourable. And I would back us in the last 10 to stay ahead of West Ham. It's just these next 4. Can we stay out of that relegation zone and stretch us lead or maintain the 6-point gap? If we do that, I'll be absolutely singing from rooftops that we're going to be absolutely fine. And I've actually said I think we hit 40 points. I do. Maybe even just go over past 40 points, and at that point it's absurd to think we're going to go down if we hit that amount of points. But I do think it's highly likely we get in and around 40 points just by that decent run we've got at the end of it. Dan James is always a good impact player with his pace, especially tight defences. Yeah, Gipton White, I think that's going to be his role. I think he'll know that coming back. He'll be hungry to get stuck in and ensure that he's still got something to prove at Premier League level. A lot of people will write him off, but it'll be like a new signing for us, Gipton White, like a brand new signing for us. Does he fit in the system we play now? Maybe not. He'd have to be maybe a wing back to have play right wing back to sort of fulfil his natural role of hugging the touchline and going up and down. We don't really play that sort of way now. 4-2-3-1 suits him. And we don't play that way, but maybe, Brennan Otte coming in, we could play him as a 10. Maybe we revert back in certain games to a 4-2-3-1 when you've got the personnel available. We haven't really had it, but maybe we have now. It'd be interesting to see how his role develops as the season goes on. And like I say, it's like a new signing for us. However his role is, I do think Dan James will get minutes because Farke's all about trust, and Farke trusts Dan James 100%. And we should trust Dan James. Player of the year last year, got a lot to offer, and he's different and unique to anything we've really got in the squad. And most sides don't have a Dan James, nothing of that sort of profile. So I think he's got a big role to play. Hit the likes, everyone. Helps Matt out. Thanks, Reese. Yeah, 100 people watching, 45 likes. Let's get that over 50. I'd appreciate it. Thanks, Top Banana. I changed the 2 at the side of DCL, Matt, and put non-tot on Buonanotte. Then you know what it is, though, Gareth? You're right in what you're saying, but it just goes to show you the abundance of quality in attacking areas we've got now, Gareth, because you bang on right. That either side. I'm not a massive Okafor lover as of right now. I think he'll come good. I do. I think he'll come good. I don't think when you look at the talent we've got on the bench, he deserves to be playing at the minute, if I'm honest. But I think in this system I've put in, I didn't fancy Buonanotte to start after his comments in the presser, and I just thought Nonto hasn't played many minutes. And again, Farke with the whole trust thing, I don't feel like he trusts Nonto to start. We haven't seen it in a while. I think he'll start in the cup against Birmingham, the side who apparently joining on deadline day. That was a weird story. So I think Okafor may come back in for this one. And I do think central. I mean, what do people think of that midfield sort of 2, if we are going to play like a 3-4-3 with Stack being out? Do you think Gruev remains next to Ampadu? That'd be wild. He may play a 3-5-2 with Aronson just off DCL, more of a 3-5-1-1 I think he may even go that way, and Okafor remains on the bench and the pat that midfield out with maybe a Gruev, a Longstaff, and an Ampadu. If that happens, I'd be very gutted to sort of see that defensive sort of mindset again. If he plays a midfield three, guys, I want to see Tanaka playing in there, whether it's Gruev, Ampadu, and Tanaka, or Longstaff, Ampadu, and Tanaka. If he plays a midfield three, and Tanaka isn't one of those players, when Gruev for me has been off it the last 2 games, I think I'm one of them where I think form has to be a thing. And if you're not in form, you should come out the side. Even if you're, earlier in the season, there were around that Forest game last time, there were a couple of games where Ampadu wasn't picking up his runner on edge of box, and he were below par. And I thought Ampadu should have been pulled for a game. I think no one's above criticism and no one's above being pulled out when it's a healthy, competitive squad. And I actually think we've got competition in all areas, bar DCL and bar Goodmanson. But luckily for us, when they're fit, they're 2 of our most effective and better players. So you don't really need rotation there. But I do look at it and think if Gruev's out of form, which he has been, he shouldn't start in this game. And you should reward a Longstaff, especially with the set pieces, or reward a Tanaka that opportunity to go win his shirt back. And obviously Okafor is the one I sort of look at and think, I don't really want to see Okafor play to start, sorry. I'd love to see an Onto start. I'd definitely love to see a Buonanotte start, but I just don't see it, mate. I don't see it. One positive is that the stadium will start at the end of the season, regardless of what division. Yeah, that's a great point, Jason. I've seen that today. It doesn't affect PSR, does it? Doesn't affect any of that, so we can sort of carry on with that. Obviously, we don't want a 50 or 1,000 seater stadium in the Championship, because I know we're a well-supported club. I go every week, I see it. But in the Championship, it's harder to fill your stadium than it is in the Premier League. That's a fact. So we don't want to have the best stadium in the Championship. We want to have one of the better stadiums in the Premier League, and that will certainly be one of the biggest for sure. Cheers, Steve, mate. JB, Matt went to the Leeds shop yesterday in Leeds, spent 140 in there. The lads better make it worth it. They better do. I tell you what, the gear they've got, mate, is absolutely class. I have to get some of mine. Imagine Not Being Leeds merch. It's not that won't cost you 140 quid. I need to start promoting that as well. I've got quite a few t-shirts and stuff with good designs, but I haven't put it out there for a while. But yeah, I love all Leeds gear. There's some really nice clubber, mate, in there. Ashley, a win would put us 9 points in front of West Ham, meaning they got to win 4. And that's a great point, Ashley, as well, because I keep looking at it thinking they're going to match our result. But we play first, so that bangs the pressure on them. So obviously playing Friday night actually could be massively impactful to their result. I hadn't even took that into account, to be honest. So yeah, we could go 9 in front with them playing on Saturday. And then that puts a lot more pressure on that Burnley game. And Burnley, Mugs, Burnley are fighting for their lives. So I'm writing that off as a West Ham win straight up. But you never know. It's 2 teams that have struggled this season. Scott Parker knows how to sort of stifle a side when he wants to, keep it tight and sort of shithouse a result. And who's to say Burnley can't get a result against West Ham? We'll have to see. But I'm sort of thinking, at best, we remain 6 points in front this weekend. But that's what we need to do. There'll be game. And I've seen that before when we beat Fulham. A lot of people disheartened that West Ham went and beat Spurs, and you're thinking, wow, for no. But, imagine if we'd have lost that game or drew that game. We need to just keep winning. And if they keep winning, they keep winning. But we just need to take care of ourselves, get as close to 40 points as we can, and we should be all right. Hoping we go for a 3-5-2. Yeah, I think, to be fair to Top Banana, we probably will. I can imagine a 3-5-2 with Longstaff, Gruev, and Ampadu in midfield, and Aronson just playing off of just off of DCL. That's what I think will happen. I actually think he'll go. There's even a conversation. I mean, what are people saying about keeper? Do people think Perry's got a chance coming back? I think Darlow maybe has another shot, but I could easily see it be Darlow, Strauch, Rodon, Justin, Bogle, Goodmanson, Ampadu, Gruev, Longstaff, and then Calvert-Lewin, and just off him, Aronson. That's what I could see it being, but I think that's very negative. If he's going to play 3-5-2, Tanaka has to be in there just to give a little bit more going forward. Has to be. Hi, mate. Ross, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're well, mate. We will be fine. We'll beat Forest under the lights on Friday, and Burnley will get a positive result against West Ham. #believe. Well, that's the outcome we all want. If we can come to end of weekend and be, even if it's 8 points in front of them, 7 points from whatever it would be, even if it's 6, I'd still be happy at 6 points because it means we're doing our stuff. But yeah, if they can at best pick up a point, drop a couple of points against Burnley, that would be ideal. It really would be. Bielsa ball. Apparently, we inquired about James Trafford. Got told a straight no. Surely they would have looked at Ortega. I've heard that too, mate. I heard that too. I knew we'd inquired. We definitely asked the question. The fact that let Ortega go would have been, I think, I don't know who else they've got at City outside Donnarumma and Trafford, but I assume they'll have a third choice. But to let Ortega and Trafford go would have been daft for them, and Ortega had already gone at the point where he'd asked about Trafford. But it goes to show Farke's not happy with his keepers, all three of them, four of them, including Cairns. So yeah, he's got to decide on one till end of season. I don't like the idea of chopping changing every game. Where at the minute we all sort of are at that point where it's like, is it Perry's go again, and then if he messes up, will it be Darlow's go again? Seen a lot of Leeds fans wanting Mez to have a go, which sounded mental, but he may be moving on. (3-4-3) hasn't been working as good as 3-5-2. Yeah, I mean, I do like the 3-5-2, but I prefer the 3-5-2 with Metro alongside DCL, which we're not going to have. Free falling. Farke is the weakest link for us. His in-game management, it's Sunday League football, I'm sorry to say. Here, don't apologise for it, mate. Your opinion is your opinion, free falling. Don't you apologise for nothing. Farke's in-game management has always been his downfall, and I keep banging the drum. Since that City game away, bang on. Absolutely bang on in-game management until Everton. Until Everton second half. And then obviously it was so poor against Arsenal too. But for me, I give him the leniency. I give him the benefit of doubt because it's Arsenal. He could have got everything right and still been beat 4-0 against Arsenal. Which sounds daft, but you get where I'm coming from with that. You know, you can easily lose to Arsenal if you play well. So this is a game for me I'm looking at. A game that's at home against someone who's below us. With many sides below us, believe it or not. Talk about free falling, you know what I mean? With many sides below us. Only 4. So this is a game we should be aiming to win, whether we do or not again. There's an argument they've got better players than us. There's an argument looking at their side. They've got some absolute quality players. But the below us in league, we're all sort of fighting for our lives. 8 o'clock kickoff at Elland Road. We should be looking to pick 3 points to win this. So this is a game I look at Farke and go, you have to find a way of coming out of this game with a positive result. Has to. And he's shown he can do it. He's shown, you know, even with his subs that I think are too late at times, you know, against Fulham, Metcha comes on, gets a winner. You've got to credit the manager in moments like that. We've seen it time and time again. Since that City game, he's got a lot right in game. Was it just a purple patch? Everyone can have a purple patch. Everybody can have a moment where everything sort of clicks and, you know, no matter what you do, he's striking goals. And he had that for a month or two. And then all of a sudden it feels like it's, you know, fading again and he's struggling against Farke. He's making wrong decisions. We'll have to see. This is a game where he has to get it right. Has to. So I will judge him after this, pal. I'm giving him benefit of doubt. I don't think he's had much wrong by the last 1.5 games. That's just my opinion. But you are right in what you're saying. That's always been the big question mark in game management. Richard Hogan, important for Longstaff to stay fit. What 3 would you start in midfield on Friday night? Well, you know me, I'm always behind not chat, mate. So you probably already, someone's already said it. But yeah, I would say if it's a midfield 3, got to be Ampadu, Longstaff, and Tanaka. I think Longstaff gives you that bit more defensive duty alongside Ampadu, and Tanaka, you know, can go forward then. I think that's what I would pick. But if I'm honest, I think Tanaka is way down the pecking order. I actually think out of the midfielders now, Tanaka's bottom of the pile. I think Tanaka's number 5 for Farke. I think Ampadu and Stack are 1 and 2. And then you've got Longstaff and Gruev fighting it out. And then, you know, poor Tanaka struggling. And I don't really know what he's done yet. He played poor against Everton for the last half an hour when he came on. And I think he's done enough to, you know, in a game like this. When Stack's out, for me, I look at Stack and think, yeah, he's more a defensive player. And he was in Germany. But he's also got that creative sort of element to his game. You know, set pieces are brilliant, and he's a creator. You know, he's at one point in the season early on, he was right high up there in the chance creation league, and right up there with Bruno Fernandes. So he does chance create. A lot of them are set pieces, but he's not just a, you know, Ethan Ampadu sort of breaks up play and gives it. You know, he can drive with the ball. He can offer more going forward. So I think if he's not playing, you want someone in that midfield for who can create. And I like Longstaff, but for me, he's not an out-and-out creator. I think Tanaka is. So that would be my 3, Richard. I don't know what yours would be, but I've got a feeling if it is a 3, there'll be a lot of disappointed fans because I think Gruev starts in a 3 for Farke, especially when there's no Stack. I just do. Biel on James, I like having new signings, I suppose, but Stack is huge blow. So who starts? Tanaka, Longstaff, and Buonanotte. Buonanotte is not starting, actually. If anyone watched the presser today, let me know what you think. He likes Buonanotte. He's happy he's got him in. But just the way he spoke at length about having to, work hard in training to win his trust. And when he gets 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 25 minutes with his words, I thought, yeah, bloody is 5 minutes usually, fucking hell. But when you get these, odd sub appearances, when you do come on, you've got to make the most of it. And I don't think Buonanotte starts for a while. I don't really see where he starts him either. In a 3-5-2 system, I don't see him starting. I think he can only play in a 3-4-3 system off that right hand side. And then you've got to shift Aronson, maybe put him on left. Or, yeah, I don't know. It's good. Honestly, I would be shocked out of 14 games, Ashley. And this is going to sound wild, but just in my opinion, I think Buonanotte should start. He's one of our better players on the books right now. I'll be surprised if Buonanotte starts 5 games for Leeds. Sounds wild, that, doesn't it? Be surprised. I'll be surprised if he starts a game in the next 4. So I think he'll hit 10 games left at season without starting a game. He'll probably, he'll start against Birmingham, and that's his opportunity. So I think he'll come off the bench at next 2. Hopefully make an impact, and I think Birmingham will be his chance. I can see, that Birmingham trip to Birmingham at FA Cup. I think it'll be a class side on paper. I think Buonanotte starts, Tanaka starts. I think it'll be really good. But they're the games have got to try and show the manager that what they can do, and maybe Buonanotte pushes for a start after that. But I just aren't too sure he's gonna start many games. I think Farke likes having that profile in there, so we can he's sort of got every sort of box covered now, every box ticked for me. But whether he plays him, you'll have to see. I haven't really played too much tension, formation, and performance. Hey up, Roger. I did notice the tetchy response to some of the question in the press conference. I think Daniel's feeling the pressure. Yeah, I'm not too sure about pressure. He's really good at sort of going around the question and not really answering it. But yeah, evening, Mike. How you doing, buddy? How you doing, my mate? If I see DCL up front of his own again and grow over midfield Friday, I'm going to scream. Ah! Fraser, it's not out of the realms of possibility you're going to end up screaming, my mate, really. And yeah, that could easily happen. That could easily be the case, Paul. I don't see it, Top Banana. I really don't. I just do not see Buonanotte, 5'7", 5'8", starting in a midfield 3. I just don't see it. Absolutely no chance. I really don't. You've got more chance of maybe an Aronson in a midfield 3, in a 3-5-2 with a long staff, with an Ampadu, and then maybe Buonanotte just starting off him. But yeah, I don't think Buonanotte starts in middle. I'll buy off yours going forward. Sound JB. I'll put some links out on coming up in next few videos and stuff, and see if anyone's interested. A lot more people watch now, so maybe merch will get a bit more of a look at. But yeah, I don't like pushing stuff on people. You know what I'm like. 2 up top, 2 on top. DCL and who else? He ain't gonna start Pido. Metch is out, so it's just going to be a midfield floating around. So if it is a 2 up top, it'll be Aronson. Which against Newcastle we saw that, and I think he works really well. You reckon, Dr. Kouros? For sure. I hope you're right. I really do. I'm unsure about Burnley's capability of going to West Ham and getting some. I really am. But if they can, my word, we better do our job. Because if Burnley go take some off West Ham and we don't do our job, I'll be fuming. I really will. I agree. 3-4-3 not suited us. We need to go 2 up top at home because Saturday DCL was isolated again. We need DCL in the games, and when he's up there on his own, we struggle to get forward. Thing is, for me, the 3-4-3 system, as long as Okafor and Aronson are close enough to DCL, it can still work. I really think it can. I want to see us let off the leash a little bit, and I personally think a 3-4-3 will work against Forest. I really do. I think when Metch is out, I think the 3-5-2, yeah, like I say, I think against Newcastle it worked brilliant. I think Aronson floating around in that pocket just behind him, occupying defenders, stretching the defence. I think he's brilliant at that. But he can also have games, Aronson, where he goes missing. And if he has one of those games and he's slightly off it, for it to work without Metch, for me, he ain't going to start Pido. Aronson has to be at it and bang on form. And I would much rather go over 3-4-3. I wouldn't really want Okafor, if I'm honest. I'd love an Onto in there, but it's not going to happen. But they need to get in and around DCL. DCL needs a goal, let's be fair. He needs a goal. Don't want this, this run to carry on because we've got some really tough games coming up. Your Villas, your Cities, where he may not score, your Chelseas. That run could easily stretch to 7-8 games. And then all of a sudden, all his good work early in the season seems to be undone, doesn't it, with a barren spell. But yeah, the 3-5-2 works too. But I just think without Stack in there, I don't think he'll start Personally, he'll start Tanaka, and I don't really want to see Gruev in there for this one. So that's why I would rather go over 3-4-3. Friday night game, strangely, I see it as a pit of wits. Farker and Dyche. Yeah, I mean, thing is with Dyche, he goes direct. We know what he's like. Dyche ball. He goes direct, physical, but he's probably got the most flair in a side he's ever had. Dyche on paper, you look at the side, I think that's not a Dyche team at all. They've got some absolute spectacular footballers in there. Morgan Gibbs-White, look no further. What a baller he is. What we do have a Morgan Gibbs-White in behind the DCL, absolutely class player. But I do think Farker versus Dyche is an interesting one because especially at home and especially, of late, it's creeping in with Leeds United that we don't go as direct as much. That's why he's looking a lot more isolated. We are playing out from the back a lot. We're getting caught in possession quite a bit more. Meaning DCL, he's isolated up there. Our best sort of system really is going direct and getting bodies in and around DCL. And I think they'll do that. Forest will do that really well. They're really good at going direct, bypassing the midfield if they need to. With Chris Wood when he plays, and obviously with Igor Jesus. And I'm really interested to see this Lorenzo Luca if he does start, because apparently he's a really good player. And we'll see what he's like. But he's going to be interesting to see how they both go up against each other. Sol, hi, Matty. How are you feeling? Okay today? Mate, come on, Leeds, we can beat Forest. Yeah, I'm good, Sol. Thank you for asking, mate. I hope you're good too. Of course we can beat bloody Forest. Of course we bloody can. Hi, Matty. I wouldn't mind seeing Pido up top of DCL. 3-0 Leeds. Cheers, John. Me too. Not going to happen. But me too. 100% would like to see that. We will attack until we score, then see. Yeah, well, that's the problem, Michael, innit, with us. He needs to not be doing that. We need to be going out and getting that goal and then going to get a second and a third, because sitting back in Premier League, you are just and inviting somebody. We saw it against Everton. You can't do that. Even against, sides that aren't the top sides in the division. Everybody in this league's got quality. Whether it's 1 player, 10 players, everyone's got quality in the side. And the more you give them the chance and opportunity to get in and around your box and put pressure on your defensive line, test the goalkeeper, eventually at this level you break. We did it a lot in Championship, went 2 up and sat back even at home, and you think this could be 4 or 5 if we go for it. But it didn't matter, and we used to hold on to these 2-0s. At the Premier League, we're always going to lose points. That way, 15 points, I think it is now, from winning positions lost. We take half of them points. We're talking about being one win away from, safety. It's mad. Absolutely mad. So, Tanaka in, Gruev rest. Yeah, I think Gruev comes out. I really do. Tanaka in. I would have him in. I don't think Farker will, though, personally, but let's hope you're right. Europe is still mathematically possible. Let's have it. You just want to get your sandals out somewhere abroad, don't you? Oh, imagine watching Leeds abroad. Christ. Farker has shot confidence. Yeah, Michael, he does. It's a weird one because I understand with Farker or any manager, you've got to manage and everybody's different. Whatever line of working in, to handle personalities, manage, you've got to manage people, haven't you? You've got to know who to push, who to call out, who to put an arm around. I kind of feel with Tanaka, he don't look like the person that needs pushing. He looks like the person who needs an arm around him. Bit of a soft soul. And Farker actually, I won't say hammer him then. He don't hammer him, does he? But he does call him out in public, doesn't he? He does say he expects more, and we've seen Tanaka say that too. Say that he's been a bit shocked when he come to England, and especially at Premier League, how sort of tough it is, and he's took a while to sort of get to grip. He doesn't feel like he's at the level, and he proper doubts himself, does Tanaka. He said a few things where I thought, well, you don't really hear football speak like that. He definitely is a confidence player, definitely needs an arm around him, and he has been called out quite a bit. And I don't know what it is with Farker and Tanaka, because I think, played him last season, obviously at a lower level, but played a lot of him, rates him, I think. You'd imagine. How can you not rate Tanaka? But for some reason, I just don't see how he gets in the side at the minute. I'd put Penny back in net for Darlow, has practiced too much with Melly. Honestly, I ain't going to throw my baby out with the bathwater on Darlow just yet. One horrific mistake, but I think the rest of the games, the boys have looked fairly settled with him in there, so we'll have to see. I assume Biol is in line to start on Friday. Melly looks like he's on his way to Fenerbahce. He does, mate. Get a bit of money for him, which I didn't think were going to happen. Biol to start on Friday. I'm not too sure. I mean, I'd have him in there, but he's got to be fully fit for me. I think we can win this game without Biol. I really do. I think if he's touch and go, I'd leave him for Tuesday. I think without Stack being in there, I think against Chelsea we could do with him playing. I think we can win this without him. The Dividend Chief. How are you doing, mate? Hi, Matt. New subscriber after watching your video yesterday. Thanks for being so honest. 49ers on Farker need to go in the summer. Thanks so much for being honest too, mate, and let me know what you thought yesterday. Yeah, thanks for subscribing, pal. Really appreciate it. 49ers on Farker need to go in the summer. Oof, not a fan of either. Wow. Well, it's going to be a talking point in it come the end of the season. When Leeds stay up, because we will stay up, in my opinion. Maybe it's how we stay up. Is there anything Farker can do, Chief, to sort of make you feel like he's the man to go forward? I mean, there was something in the dividend, what was it, in the investors' notes or something. There was an article out, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, where it said the aim was just to survive this season, then just to survive next season, then start pushing up the league. Is Farker the man to survive, back to back? I think so. With the sides coming up, I think Farker could stay in charge and go again and stay up, 15th, 16th, 17th again. Depends what you want. Depends what the 49ers want. I would want him to go from 16th, 17th this season, just survival, to 12th, 11th. At that point, is Farker the man to make that jump? I think Farker can keep us up back-to-back years. Like I say, I think I've got a lot of confidence in if we stay up this season, when we stay up this season, choice of words, Matthew, next season will be a lot easier to stay up. I'm sure you all agree. I'm sure a lot of you will agree with that. This side, this season we've come up. We're one of those sides, always going to be more difficult. Next season, we're not. Bring more players in summer, flush out the squad with a little bit more quality, and you've got 3, I would say, proper championship sides coming up, whoever they may be. We can speculate whether it's Coventry, Middlesbrough. It's highly likely to be easier next season to stay up. So, but yeah, 49ers, I'm not a massive hater of the 49ers, pal, at all. I don't mind what they've done. But again, we'll have to see how we sort of end. Farker is not a Premier League coach, says Michael. Well, he hasn't been, has he? I think he's shown this season he's capable at this level. Don't get me wrong. The bottom end of the table sort of level. He's not a top Premier League manager. He's a top championship manager, top championship coach. But again, I don't want to hammer Farker yet. Let's see where we are in a couple of games' time. He's had a poor game and a half, but before that, he's had a great 8, 9, 10 games. And I don't think anyone can say he hasn't. We've got points there. He should have been sacked after Forest last time. I think he should have been, and he wasn't. And rightly so, because now we're 6 points clear at relegation zone. And playing pretty well this season. It hasn't been horrific football. It's been good football, good results. Too many draws, yes, but hard to beat is what we recruited for, and we have been hard to beat this season. It's exactly what we bought. Exactly what it said in the tin. Hard to beat, physical, stay in games. We recruited for that, and that's what we've done a lot of season. These are the games, though. Hard to beat, don't cut it. These are the games where you coach your team to victory and get the 3 points that's on offer. Because games like these, they are a 6-pointer. It's someone who's below us, someone who's on points with us. We need to be picking up wins in these games. I'd go with Dan James on Notto up top with DCL, a bit of pace, get behind. Yeah, actually, I understand that. He isn't going to start Dan James. Nonto out of favour at the minute. I don't think Farker fancies him, but that's your preference, and I agree. Pacing and around him, I really love Nonto and Dan James. I really do. I don't know how much of an impact they're going to have in Premier League for Leeds. I really don't. It will be JB. Yeah. By all accounts, he'll be on bench, mate. Yeah, it's just whether he gets any minutes. 2-1 Leeds on Friday, says Gibson. Hey up, Paul. Calgary calling, pal. 130 p.m. 1:30 p.m. here. Supposed to be working, but watching you and square ball on the laptop. I'm nervous here. We must score first and hang on 2-1, but play 3-5-2 and attack Farker. Cheers, Paul. Thank you so much, mate. Hey, I feel very privileged watching me and square ball. What, side by side, or you've turned them off to watch me, haven't you? That's what you've done. You had them on and you thought, oh, Matty's gone live. I'll bang it on. Cheers, Paul. Yeah, like I said, formation. I'd like to see 3-4-3 would start being out, but 3-5-2 as well. The last 2 words, mate, are what's important to me. I don't bother what formation play, but I want to see attacking football. Attack Farker. Please, Daniel Farker. Attack, as it said on my thumbnail. That's what I want to see. Whatever the base formations, I don't really care. I just think with Stack being out, with Metcha being out, maybe he'll go to 3-4-3. I wouldn't even mind a 4-2-3-1. Buonanotte in 10. Aronson on right, Nonto on left, or Okafor on left. I think that'd work too, but he's going to stick with 3 centre-halves. But you look at it, you haven't got Beal, you haven't got Stack, you haven't got Metcha. Maybe the 3-5-2 is not the way for this one, but we'll see. But the big talking point as well, like I say, is going to be goalkeeper. Who starts in net and who's up top, in and around DCL? Do you think we should go for it and hope we win? I'll be defensive. Nah, Steve, we've got to go for it. I don't think... we know Stack and Beal especially. I don't think we're good enough to try and nick it. I really don't. If it's away from home, that's maybe the tactic you do take away from home. At Elland Road, if we sit tight and try and nick it, the team will know, Farker will know with the crowd. They're going to know. We've got to go for it. But like I say, you can get picked off by these. They are a really good side. Dave says, just sub to your channel too. Well, good lad. I'll have to have a look at that. Grover's done okay when he's been needed, but now it's his time to be dropped to the bench. Loss of energy from Stark, Amps, Longstaff and Tanaka for the energy, and Longstaff and Tanaka can score. Yeah, they can. I think Longstaff, he hasn't scored as many as I thought he'd get, but he hasn't played many minutes either, has he, with his injury? But he scored earlier on the season, scored a belter, didn't he? Half volley outside at right boot. He's got a goal in him as Longstaff, and he's got a decent set piece delivery, so it'd be nice to have a bit more of a threat from midfield. Me personally, I would have played Tanaka and Ampadu and Stack in every home game. Yeah, I agree with that. He can't start Grove or Okafor. If he does, we are cooked. Say Okafor, I just think if we play 3-4-3, I think he'll play Okafor on that side. But again, I'm not a massive fan of his form of late. Don't actually think he deserves to be playing many games at the minute. But yeah, he is still, unfortunately. He's out for 10 to 14 days, so he misses Chelsea as well on Tuesday. He may be back for Birmingham game in FA Cup, but it's likely they'd arrested him anyway. So, yeah, that's how long he's out for, mate. 352 says James with Pido off DCL. Again, I'd love it. Not going to happen. Lots of Premier League coaches in here who are better than our manager. I wonder if 49ers are reading. We could have had Fat Ange, Boring Deitch, or Headshot Nuno, maybe, and a fan committee. I don't know about that 78 RPM saviour. You've just got to. We're just having a chat, mate. We're just friends having a chat. If we didn't chat about formations and players and that, there'd be no point chatting about Leeds, would there? It's what we do if you were mates at work, if you were mates in pub, you're having a chat about everything. We don't know more than Farker, we don't, but no one's above criticism. I certainly don't know more than Farker, Jesus Christ. But as a football fan, we're entitled to an opinion. That's what we're doing, mate. Otherwise, we may not have it. You won't be on here watching content. And you watch a lot of content, mate, on here and other channels. So, yeah, we're not better than the manager. That's a fact. But that don't mean he's the best manager for Leeds United either. Do you know what I mean? So people have their opinions. Some love him, some hate him. I'm sort of just, he's doing a good job with 6 points clear at relegation done. Let's keep going. Let's keep the positivity. Let's keep going. I'm definitely not going to tell anybody that they're wrong in their opinion and that it's not welcome here, because it is. But yeah, for me, it's just what we're doing. We talk about football. Need more than a win against Forest to stay up. Need at least 4 or 5 wins, not draws. Yeah, people are saying 3 wins, 3 draws. I want us to go out there and win 3 games, get 12 more points on board. But we are going to pick up a few more draws, especially away from home. It's what we do. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that, Steve. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. I just think without Metcher up top, I just see Aronson playing up top of him, to be fair. Yeah, no falling out in chat, man, please. Jesus wept. No need to fall out, guys. 3-5-2, Justin in for Bogle, Buenanotte for Stack, Tanaka in for Guel. I like that free falling, I do. Mike Bassett, evening, pal. Hope you're well. I'm good, Mike. I hope you're good too, pal. Leeds dub got 23 stitches today, Mike. Got hit by a falling scaffolding bar on the side of the head. It bust me. Not getting out till tomorrow. Going to hospital, Dublin, still want to out. Oh, mate. I hope you recover well, pal. That's brutal. Do you work on sites? Because that'll have been an absolute health and safety nightmare. So side head, even if you had your hard on, it still caught you. Oh, man, that's brutal. Are you a scaffolder? Oh, brutal, mate. I hope you're all right, buddy. 23 stitches, that's not good at all. Yeah. Happy healing. Get better soon, pal. Top banana, 156 inch, 170 now. Thanks so much, everyone. 99 likes. Smash as I like. Please subscribe if you're new here. I love having a chinwag with you guys. It is a class. Cheers, Mike. Yeah, be nice in chat, please. Come on, guys. Or my mate Mike and Dave will take you out. Get gone. Hey up, Paul. How are you doing, Martin? Hope you're good. Lee Chester, I don't think Tanaka has not played well ever since he said he was struggling with confidence. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't played well for a while. He hasn't. But then again, he hasn't played much either. You know, last time I remember is that week, Chelsea-Liverpool. His sub appearances, he hasn't done well off the bench. He hasn't. But for me, he's not a bench player. He should be starting games. But again, what do we know? And I tell you what, Leeds double. I don't like to hammer Gruev. I like Gruev. I do. And I think in certain games, I mean, there's a reason why up until Arsenal, we'd only lost 1 of 9 with Gruev in there. There's a reason for that. Tidy keeps the ball. knows his capabilities, and he's just steady in there. And having the trust of Farke is massive because it's all about trust. But he isn't someone you want in the side to go win a game of football. He's someone you want in there to hold out for a draw. You know, someone to bring on off the bench to when you're winning by a goal to see game out. He shouldn't be starting for Leeds United in games of this sort of magnitude and at this level. A side that we are very, very capable of winning. Stack's a huge miss, Matt. There's no getting away from it. It's a huge miss. Just want to bring this on before because I'm behind on chat, but I want to bring this on. So, just having a quick look at Forest in a bit more detail. So you look at Forest there, yeah. The last 4 games, 1 drawn, 1 drawn. Is it a win? So you look at their next 4. They're very capable of picking up points. I don't know if everyone's looked at Forest results. I know they're obviously outside the relegation zone. But if we drop a position by losing to these, it'll start looking a bit more worrying, seeing as, 17th rather than 16th as well. But they've got Leeds, Wolves, Liverpool, and Brighton. Those 4 games, if you're a Forest fan, you're looking at them 4 thinking that's a really good run of fixtures. That is a really, really good run of fixtures. Before then, they have obviously City, Fulham, Spurs, Villa. Gets a little bit tougher there, but they've got some very favourable fixtures at Forest. And those next 4, because Leeds at Elland Road at 8 o'clock is a tough game, obviously. But Forest won't see Leeds as a horrendous trip to Leeds. They're in form. They're doing well. They've won the last 2 away games at West Ham and Brentford. I say difficult places to go. West Ham hasn't been that difficult. It is for Leeds, but maybe the London hoodoo doesn't affect them. But Brentford, to win 2-0 at Brentford's a great result. Brentford have been class this season. To go there and nil them, unbelievable. So they are in good form. And when you look at the away form table too, it goes to show overall, obviously, sat in where they are there. Where are we? Away form 10th. They're sat in 10th position. They're actually better away from home than they are at home marginally, but they've won 4 games away from home, drawing 2. So half of the games, 6 of the games they've travelled to, they've come away with something. So it's not a foregone conclusion that Leeds win this game, as much as I'm going to say we're going to win. Morgan Gibbs-White, 6 goals, 2 assists. For me, he's their best player. Callum Hudson-Odoi's out. They've got a really good midfielder, Sangare and Elliot Anderson. I always forget his first name. Elliot Anderson in there. Really good. 4-2-3, one with them 2 in middle. I think they've got some really good players. Amari Hutchinson's in there as well. I'll say Hudson-Odoi's a big miss. And obviously Nico Williams, a huge miss. But the fact they've signed Luca Netz, he probably comes straight in and makes his debut at left back. Maybe wrong with that. Maybe Ortega comes in as well. But they're not a poor side at all, Forest. They're really not. They're in form, like I say. So that does worry me a little bit, the form they're in. The fact that they've not... the fact they've not lost in 4 goes to show it's going to be probably a bit of a tough one. So, yeah, I thought I'd just share that because I didn't realise until I looked at them that they haven't lost in 4. And I think when you look at the next 4, they will certainly be looking at picking up points in these next 4. And we could easily find ourselves below Forest because our next few games after this are very tough. If we don't beat these and they go above us and then we travel to Chelsea, which I'm not writing off. I'm certainly not saying Chelsea's a free hit. We battered them at home 3-1. But remember, it's away from home in bloody London is a Chelsea game. So the likelihood is that's going to be a tough ask to get anything from that game. But, I favour we can go there and get a point. But we shall see. But there's, you look at their games there and bar that Liverpool, which is at home, bearing in mind. And Liverpool are always great. They're a bit hit and miss. But they'll look at these 4 games, Forest, thinking we can get something in all them games. If they win a couple of them, West Ham beat Burnley this weekend, all of a sudden it feels a bit squeaky bum time. But I'm looking at it the other way, glass half full. I think we can get something in these games. Our last big tough run we had, those 8, 9, 10 games where they were all top 10 sides, we came out of it brilliantly and give ourselves a gap from relegation zone. Farke did that. The boys did that. Regardless of recruitment in January, from that City game onwards, turned it round. And Farke shouldn't even be here, really. With the games he had to save his job, how is he even still here? But he is. And I'm going to give him benefit of doubt and back him and back the boys right now to go get enough points in this hard run and give us enough to see the season out. Agree that Nonto should be behind DCL on Friday night. Think he gives us something. Richard, he gives us lows different, does Nonto. I love Nonto. Low centre of gravity, can shoot with both feet, can go past someone. I think that's one of his strongest sort of assets as well with Nonto. He gets his shot off when he's got the opportunity. He doesn't take too many touches. He'll have a shot. He'll have a pop. And not many people in Leeds side has a shot from outside box. It's something that's bothered me for a long time under Farke. It's usually about creating overloads and getting cutbacks. Not so much this season, but Shots from outside the box have crept in more this season. We're seeing goals from midfield, but Nonto gives you that, first sight of goal, he'll have a pop. Forest are very good, Leeds dub. Very, very good. I mean, you look at them and West Ham, you look at the individual players, brilliant. I actually think Forest are a really good side. I think Dyche always makes it hard to play against. He's just an experienced Premier League manager, not always the most eye-catching of football, but they've got players in there that can change a game. Went 1-0 up away at Forest, they scored instantly, and then they went and beat us. So that was very poor to lose 3-1 at Forest. I was gutted with that one of our poorest performances this season. And I think we owe Forest one. I think we owe Burnley one. Both at Elland Road, both games we should be looking at getting 6 points out of. And I do think when you get beat by someone as well, as an added bonus of, try to get one back over them. Burnley haven't really rolled over from any side. No, they haven't. They haven't been battered week in, week out. They're still in touching distance, they'll be thinking, but for me, they're not. But yeah, we'll have to see. Burnley, 10 or 15 points at home, they will be competitive. I hope so, Ted. I hope so. It's not an easy place to go, is it? Forest are down there because they haven't been good enough. No, they haven't. They haven't been good enough. West Ham haven't been good enough. Some will say Leeds haven't been good enough, because we're down there. But on the day, if we're not at it and they are, they can beat us. If we're not at it, if we perform, if we set up and play like we did against Arsenal, I don't care that Arsenal are, 10 times better than Forest. If we turn up and have a meh sort of performance at Elland Road on Friday night, we'll get beat by Forest. These are no mugs. They're no mugs. And they're fighting for their lives, so that's something in it. Before we sit back, we have to go get 2 goals just in case they score. Yeah, Harry. We sit back at 0-0 like we did against Arsenal. We sit back at 1-0 up, and it could be a massive problem. Stack is an awesome corner taker, set piece. Yeah, his Stack's a massive loss. Massive loss. Teesside Whites to Elland Road Friday, -1 member who sadly passed away. Sorry to hear that, David. Really sorry to hear that, mate. Hopefully they get 3 points from him Friday, pal. Yeah, sorry to hear that, mate. BL is huge for us, especially from set pieces. Yeah, Richard's set pieces, the corners, the free kicks, the throw-ins of Ampadu. Like I say, the throwing of Ampadu has been massively affected not having BL in there, because he's at first contact every time, comes a bit short and tries to flick on. We saw the goal against Palace, didn't we, for DCL? Mentioned the other night. BL's massive in both boxes for us. And I think when we're playing a back three, he needs to be central of that for us, for me to have 100% confidence that we can sort of nullify the opposition. I think when we come across physical strikes, well, if it is a Igor Jesus who plays for him, I think he's the man you want against these big target men, because I think he's nullified so many good players this season, whether it's Haaland or, whether it's been we've been up against, when it's come to that physicality and that aerial battle with the number 9 he's up against. I think he's come out 9 times out of 10, the better of the two. We're not as good as Arsenal or anywhere near, but defending our coach is taboo. We are giving Forest a kicking under the lights. I hope so, mate. I hope we do. I hope you're right with that one, bad. Buddy, Tanaka's Leeds' best player. I won't go that far, Leeds dub, but he's definitely a fan favourite, and he's definitely up there in terms of quality. But yeah, I do love Tanaka. He needs to somehow find a way of getting back in that starting 11. I fear he goes in summer, and not for as much money as people think. That's my worry. I think he gets sold in summer. I think Nonto gets sold in summer. And I don't think it's nowhere near the amount of money people think. And we've got a really good way of doing it of Leeds United. Keep a player under Farke, don't work out, and they go for cheap. Because of a depreciating asset in my eyes. But hopefully I'm wrong with Tanaka, because I love him. Now then, Matty, how are you doing in the Leeds game? I'm good, mate. Hope you're good. Jamie LUFC, how are you, mate? Evening, Matty, lad. Must win tomorrow for me. Friday. Although I'm on the flight to Germany, so we'll miss it. Class, Jamie. Are you going to Hamburg? Are you Jamie? Are you my Jamie? Jamie LUFC 1991. Are you off to Hamburg? If you're my Jamie, I'm going to be gutted, because I didn't realise you were my Jamie. Maybe you're not. If you are my Jamie, you know what I mean. If you're not, then you're thinking, what are you on about, my Jamie? I would go with Perry tomorrow night. Yeah, it's a flip a coin for a lot of fans at the minute. I wouldn't. I think you know what it is now. I think if you drop Darlow, listen to my logic on this. You drop Darlow for Perry, you haven't thrown him under the bus. He's done that himself by that mistake. But there's no way back for him for me. If it don't work out for Perry, then what you doing then? Bringing Darlow back in 2 games' time when his confidence will be shot. I think you give him another opportunity to right the wrong, in my eyes, because if you do bring Perry in, all your baskets are in Perry basket then for me. And that isn't a concrete solution, because he hasn't been at it either. Is he better than Darlow? He wants to be. He bloody should be for the money we've spent on him. And I would say he probably is, but he hasn't started life off at Leeds very well. But there's not to say he can get better, and maybe he'll be his number one for a long time, and hopefully he is. Hopefully he is. You know, I want to see more from him. But right now, I think if you take Darlow out and it don't work, where do you go from there? So I think he's got to stick with Darlow. He's stuck with Meslier for worse. Meslier were doing that week in, week out last season, and it took him forever for him to put Darlow in. So I think he needs to show Darlow a little bit more leniency. It was Arsenal, not that it's an excuse. It's a game. He had a lot of pressure, a lot to do in that game. The delivery of that corner were fucking right on his toes. He needs to do better. He does, and if that's Perry or Meslier, I'm hammering him. But I think for the sake of Darlow's confidence and the sake of that, us going forward to end the season, I think you pull him out now and it don't work out with Perry, you're in a heap of trouble. So that's my thoughts on it, mate. But I actually think he may go Perry tomorrow. I've just got a feeling a lot of fan base to talk about Perry. I wouldn't be surprised if he went with Perry. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Tanaka has started 7 games. We have won 3 of those. Fair. Farker said, yeah, he did. When he got asked about Meslier, or asked about a few, and said no one will leave. Now, obviously, highly unlikely anyone leaves. The window's slammed shut, but obviously Turkey's still open till end of Friday night, I think. So there's a possibility that, you know, a Turkey side could come in for any of his players. Got a decision to make then, haven't we? But obviously, no one else will go bar Meslier, but potentially Meslier could go. I do think he should, to be fair. I don't think we're going to have an injury crisis in goalkeepers. And even though Darlow and Perry are suspect, I don't ever want to see Meslier come back in for them. So we'll see. If we do score early, we can't afford to sit back. The team will have our fans right behind them with the energy of the crowd, which should give players that second extra boost. Yeah, also should. New man, I agree, Lightning. To be fair, I actually think under a different manager, you'd see I honestly, I think if Tanaka and Nonto signed for another club in the Premier League, I think that, you know, if they played, I think they'd be look every part Premier League players. There's a lot of players who Farker don't fancy, and that doesn't mean the poor players just because Farker don't fancy him. It is what it is, and I agree with that. If Farker's not here next season, we've still got the likes of Tanaka and Nonto, even if it's for pre-season, to, you know, for a new manager to see if that's the direction we go. I think there's massive value in them, but I also think there's massive value financially in them too. And if Farker's still here, which he may well be, I think a lot of fans will have to get that around the head. I don't know. We talk about 49ers being ruthless, but they'll be ruthless. They'll get rid of Farker in summer. Well, they haven't pushed Joel Pirro out. We've got Elland Meslier. Apparently, that was best deal for everybody. Or to keep Meslier this season for what? He haven't played. They weren't ruthless in getting Meslier out. They haven't really been ruthless in anything they've done, the 49ers. And I slating 49ers because I'm quite happy where we are right now. I think a lot of people forget how poor our owners have been in the past, if I'm honest. I really think they forget where we were and who we've had in the past. But that's how I sort of see it. That's how I sort of see it with that. I think he'll still be here. They're not going to be ruthless enough. He'll still be here. So a lot of fans have to get their head around that for me. I disagree on Biol. I think he needs to start Friday night versus Forest and then resting for the Chelsea game. Realistically, Forest is more winnable. Yeah, of course it is, but I don't know how fit he is. He isn't going to come back in when he's missed a few games. I don't think. I know he's massively impactful for side, but I do think we can get a result in this game without Biol. I just think he's been injured. I don't want him to come in now and then, you know, be out for a few more weeks. So, and I think we can go to Chelsea and he could be different. If you're giving me a game for him to play, it's Chelsea for me, mate. There's a lot more variables going for Leeds United to get points at home. 8 o'clock kickoff against a weaker side. I think there's a lot more variables to why we can get a result as opposed to Chelsea away. He improves the percentage of getting a clean sheet. He improves the percentage of scoring a goal playing against Chelsea. I think we've got enough to beat Forest without him playing. Do you think the Arsenal result will affect us on Friday? Sol, great question. It needs to not. I think the boys have been there before. They've been slapped up by Arsenal. They knew what they were facing. We thought we were a different side. I don't think we're carved open as much as we were away from home, but we still got slapped up by 4. Didn't offer much going forward. It needs to not affect them. I think because it's Arsenal, I don't think it will, if I'm honest. I think if you get beat by a side like Forest 4-0, it's a totally different sort of effect on your mentality. I do think because it's Arsenal, they'll just, you know, sort of rip that one up and go again. I don't think you can dwell too much on getting beat by, you know, the potential champions. It's more the second half of Everton and then a result against Arsenal. It's starting to sort of like snowball again now, where it seems to like we're out of form a little bit now, to where we were maybe 2 or 3 games ago. But I don't think it's going to going to read too much onto it. We won't get money on Mez above his wage and bonus covered, but that's worth doing. If he agrees, we can't make him go now. No, we can't, and he'd be quite happy to sit on his contract till the end of the season. Thing is, if he signs for Besiktas now, say goes there now and signs a 3-year contract, that's him tied into Besiktas. We've seen the sides like who were potentially linked with him before. You know, both Milan sides. There's been a lot of sides who may look at Melli on a free in the summer, so he'll actually have. He may weirdly have his pick of, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 really good clubs in Europe, rather than just going for Fenerbahce now. So I think he may. It depends again if there's going to be a bit of a fee, or we just get his wages off, and it all helps with PSR. Obviously, with Melli, it'd be pure profit in anything we got. If we're going to push him out, great, because it's better to have something than nothing. But I think for Melier, I think he'd be daft to take Besiktas move. I think he might as well wait till summer and get a better side in a better division for me. Hey up, Angela. Hi, Matty. I think Farker knows that he has got a battle on Friday, and how he was talking to the press today. I think under lights we can do this. Agree with all that, Angela. I really do. 100%. 49 is better than Ken Bates, exactly. He's a better coach than a manager. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I just think he's fine for where we are as a club. Fine for where we are as a club. I think Farker's done a great job, especially since City. However, I would say the 49ers are looking to make a change, which may happen in summer. I think the second season harder than the first season. I disagree just by sides coming up. In the past, it's been deemed that, you've got that boost, haven't you? You've been playing well. You've come up because you've had a great season the year before. You can have that boost going into Premier League. We've seen so many sides, but us finishing ninth, yeah. Sheffield United finishing 9th or 10th. A lot of sides can come up and just maintain that momentum and have a really good first season. That second season is really hard, but I just think I cannot see for life of me the 3 that come up, whoever they are. I cannot see the life of it that we finish below them sides. I just can't. But you never know. You never know. The Leeds game, and I think Fark keeps Leeds up, and then Germany have a mayor this summer, so they set the manager and they hire Fark. Fark is a better father than a manager. I should hope he is. I should hope he's a bloody good father. Funny. We only got 3 wins and he hasn't been able to get us clear. Too many draws. Yeah, too many draws, but 6 points clear with 14 games to go. We'd have all took that for me. We've all been saying all season, 17th now, take it. If you'd have got told with 14 games to go, we'd be 6 points cleared at relegation zone. I think we'd have took that. I personally, and 16th, not even in 17th, we're in 16th. I think on goal difference. No matter the manager, if they lose or draw or don't set up the way we want, it's have him out, stop it. We're super Leeds and we're staying up. Yeah, Angela, too right. No mention of Calvin talking. Yeah, that was so bizarre. It's clearly been told for Calvin to be asked what his best achievement in football was, to say, the treble at City when he's not really played any game time for them, were absurd, really. We want a good look, but yeah, he's certainly been told. Played with Rafinha, although Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne, which Kevin De Bruyne, I understand he's got to be up there, hasn't he? But yeah, he'd definitely been told he can't mention Leeds, which is ridiculous. Alan St. Maximum, available, any takers? Not for me, mate. Not now. A couple of years ago, yeah, but not for me. We've got enough out wide for me. James could be a real threat in these potentially close matches later on if truly fit. Facundo, I'm hoping he's a young Pablo and gets a chance and we miss BL. Yeah, I agree with all that. I think Facundo will have an impact. It's just how many minutes he's going to play to have that impact. Keep your head up, Matty. All the best. Thanks, John. Thanks, pal. I will do, mate. Has to be 3-4-2-1. Says Aiden. Loads of comments on Gruev. Top man, it doesn't matter who we play or system, still think we can win on Friday. Put Academy out. One man doesn't get it. Nah, does he? Yeah. Gruev's not going to relegate us. Next season, all we have to do is be better than Coventry, Middlesbrough and Hull. That's what I mean, Lee. You look at that. Whether they come up or not, we'll have to see. I mean, Coventry are doing the best at bottling it, aren't they, a little bit? I won't mind Middlesbrough coming up if Bill's still there. But you look at it and think, it's going to be someone, 3 sides of that calibre. But we ain't finishing below them. There's talk of Tanaka not being sound of mind to handle the pressure like Gruev can. Yeah, there's a lot of talk of that. And maybe that's part of it. But I think you can't just have him and not play him when he's as talented as he is. You've got to work on that. That's where the man management comes in. Work on that. Make him stronger mentally. These psychologists in football and all that. All that side to it. You need to put if that's what he needs, he needs that. But he's also sitting on the bench, jogging up and down that sideline, being an unused sub game after game. Ain't going to help his confidence either. And I really think after that poor 20 minutes he had against Everton, I think the worst thing he could have done for Tanaka was leave him off against Arsenal. The game were gone. I think you could have played Tanaka, give him another 20 minutes, 30 minutes, see if he can, get a bit of confidence. We don't win Friday. West Ham have massive chance to catch us because pressure will be on us. Have to go back-to-back away games, Chelsea and Villa, and get results. That's a tough ask, isn't it? That's a tough ask. Chelsea, Villa away, and then City at home. There's a massive chance that after this game we don't get a point for the next 3. And I don't think that happens. I think we do. We did this last time in that tough run. You look at the games and think we're not going to get no. But I think we will. But the likelihood is this is the game we get the points in. So if we don't get the points in, then the pressure just cranks up. It cranks up like hell. James, Tanaka, Gruev, Metcha, Nonto and Bynum all need upgrades in the summer, along with an actual keeper. Yeah, I agree. I'd like to see Tanaka stay. But I do agree that there'll be a fair few getting sold. I think we'll have quite a bit of money in play around with in summer as well. I really do. Gipton White, I'm a fart defender. However, I do think he stumbled on a successful system by accident. We'll take it however it comes out. Same as that, mate. Yeah, I kind of think he did. Sort of Hail Mary, and it worked for him. And fair play. 4 more wins, 2 more draws. That's what we need as a minimum. And that's six positive results there out of 14. Like Farker said in Presser today, he says 3 wins, 3 draws will be enough. That gets you to a point per game. I think 38 points, which he thinks keeps you up. Whether you do or not, Farker does. And like he says, that's achievable. 6 games to get a positive result out of 14. He backs the team to do that. So I back it too, to be honest. I really do. Oh, thanks so much, Amy, for your super chat. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Smash these poverty chanting no marks on Friday for us, lad. From an Everton fan, Leeds are staying up the toffees. Thanks so much, Amy. Really appreciate that. From an Everton fan as well. Wow. Legend. Yeah, absolute legend. Thank you so much. If we lose this game, just had it, then West Ham are knocking on our door because West Ham v Burnley's a big game, of course it is. I don't think we will lose more than 5 matches from the next 14. Yeah, I don't think we will, to be honest. City at home, it's at home, so people will always lean into that. But there is a massive chance we'll lose that. Villa away, we lose that. We could lose to Chelsea. Honestly, I think the next 4 or 5 games, if we're still outside that relegation zone, we'll be fine. We'll be absolutely fine. Smash a like for this awesome channel. Thanks, Sol. Really appreciate it. Top man says, yes, 100 likes, 134 now. You know what I mean? I'm always behind. Yeah, smash a like on the video. 194 people watching. Please subscribe if you're new here. JB Leeds, keep smashing that like if you haven't already. Gruev is a piano carrier, so our artist can play. I like that, mate. I use that. That's a good point. Gruev's a trier. Tanaka is a player. Matty, do we need to keep Perry or Pirro for the championship? I said, we're not going to the championship. Not happening. He's a water carrier. Gruev, a cog who just blocks and releases the ball under press. Assistant player. He's a system player, and he does it well. Tanaka has lost possession a few times. Yeah, and that's the thing with Farker. He's always going to lean into somebody who sort of follows instruction really well. Is a system player, plays the percentages, doesn't give the ball away. Gruev's percentages, even his pass percentage, will be probably a lot higher than Tanaka's because he's not a creator. He doesn't take the gamble and the risk on the ball like other players do. As a fan, I want to see the risk taker player over the player that's not taking the risk and is just tidy in possession. But I understand why Farker likes that. That's the way he is. Defend first and then attack second. I'm not really of that. Ashley says maybe protecting Tanaka from injuries to keep him in vital periods. I don't agree with that. I really don't think it's Ashley. This is a vital period right now, we'll see if he plays. Maybe there's something in that, but yeah, I just don't know. I really just don't think he fancies him. And we've seen this with Farker numerous times, haven't we? And it usually ends up being a fan favourite we don't really fancy. Someone who the fans think should be in the side. Gruev does not deserve to be starting. Simple, he's pretty sweet. JB, again, I'm a fan of his. I don't mind him, but I agree he doesn't deserve to start in this game. He doesn't. If Farker's press conference said 4 wins, then we will be okay. As he said, he goes out to win every point. Well, 3 and 3, he said. Richard Cook, how you doing, mate? Leeds and Forest are both doing okay, both climbing, catching teams above. Maybe both Leeds and Forest end up being above Tottenham. Maybe, I mean, they came back from 2-0 down against City, and I'm thinking, is that going to spark something for them? You know, we've seen Bournemouth do well of late, get a couple of results. Tottenham coming back from 2-0 down against City, the way they did quite a dramatic ending. Is that a catalyst to turn their season around? It could be, because they shouldn't be where they are, Tottenham, but that's back-to-back years at Tottenham where they're struggling towards bottom end of the table. So there's something more than just, you know, a poor team there. I think it's a bit rotten at the core in it at Tottenham. But the likelihood is we don't catch a Tottenham. We get overrunning midfield when Tanaka plays in the Premier League. Yeah, it does happen, Jim. But also, there's been games where we haven't been, you know, overrunning midfield, and Tanaka's been a massive part of why we've got a result. I agree that you're gonna, you know, it's gonna be less likely to get overrun when you've got a Gruev in there and a Stacker and an Ampadu. But in certain games, I'm not looking at this game thinking, you know, if you play Tanaka, we're gonna get overrun. I'm looking at thinking play Tanaka and go overrun them. That's how I'm looking at this game. But again, I'm just a bloody fat Leeds fan, you know, waffling on the internet. Just what do I know? Look at me. Look, what do I know? Farker is the guy in it. You know, I'm just a bit of a muppet, but I would rather put someone like Tanaka in and say, go impact the game. You go overrun their midfield. You go make it hard for their defenders. But systematically, he'll go with that, won't he? He'll probably go with Gruev. And if I know, honestly, I can see it meltdown now. Gruev's in midfield and everyone's absolutely in meltdown, up in arms. When has Gruev done something big for us? Free kick against Norwich. There you go. I'm always behind, as you know. Forest spent 230 million on shit in the summer. Recruitment is key. Sunderland have proven that. Yeah, Sunderland have smashed it, Paul. You must be buzzing. Absolutely smashed it. And give yourself a leg up already on building on it next season. Forest fan, hey up, Charles. Always like Leeds, but obviously hoping we win. No reason Leeds and Forest can't stay up. Hoping West Ham 4 can't stand London teams. I agree with that, Charles. Good luck for the rest of the season, my mate, but just not Friday. Yeah, I appreciate you dropping in, bud. Colin says, I'm concerned, to be honest. Also, a factor that Wales have massive World Cup playoff games in March. Oh, I hadn't even thought of that. Potentially 2 games in a few days with extra time and pens. Big emotional occasions. Yeah, and we're always concerned when Wales are playing. Half as bloody team, aren't they? Farker leaves in the summer, says Lightning. Potentially, but again, it depends how it ends for me. Boss Nass, how you doing, bud? Evening, you lot. Hope everyone's well. The Boss Nass has arrived. But look at Tanaka, he saved us in the Championship games and Premier League games. He's going to devise opinion, isn't he? I am your Jamie. Yes, mate, Hamburg. I'm Friday, my bad. Jamie, I didn't even realise that were you, Jamie LUFC 1991, because I know you watch quite a bit, but I didn't even realise it were you, buddy. But I'll take that. Buzzing. I'm glad you watched, actually. I wasn't too sure. I know you watched a bit before, but yeah, I didn't even know that were you. Enjoy Hamburg. Go steady. Because you got Chelsea on Tuesday. You're going to be rough as. Are you going on coach, by the way? You're going to come with me and Danny in car? Because Danny's driving, isn't he? Car journey. He is. He's my Jamie. He's my Jamie. Gareth White's Jamie. Oh, good chaps. Just popped in to slap some onions in there. Yes, mate. I hope you're looking forward to late night Leeds on Friday, Boss Nass. It's going to be class to come straight out of a game in it. Instant match reaction. And then the quiz a bit late. Wait till Priestley gets home from his drive home, and then he's not in the chat, but he'll be doing quiz on Friday. Hi, mate. Do you think we win Friday? Hey, up, Ashley. I do. I think we'll win Friday. Start getting your score predictions in. Get your score predictions slapped in. I'm going to have to skip a few chats, and we'll call it a day next 10 minutes or so. But yeah, I think Leeds win. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be nervy. I'm going to go 1-0 win to Leeds. I think we keep a clean sheet. 1-0 or 2-1. So it's not a clean sheet. I think we win by a goal. 6-5. Tickle those likes. Cheers. Yeah, I'm going to go 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0. Joe says, is it just me? I don't think Penny has been terrible. Been a few he could have done better. He's not punching the ball. And it was on net. No, he didn't, but Darlow wasn't until that one time. So I hope he starts. Penny's got a point to prove. Yeah, but Darlow was as well. Darlow, you know, has got a point to prove and back himself to not do that again. But again, I think whoever he picks, Joe, I think there's an argument for both. I just think if it don't work with Penny and you've sort of hung him out to dry a little bit there in terms of, you know, if it don't work with Penny, you've got to bring Darlow back in again. And his last performance was punching in his own net. So I think I'd stick with him for that reason. Harry says, to win a game, you score goals. Gruev doesn't do that. Tanaka does. That's how I am as well, really, on that. I think in a game like this where we should just be going out and playing our game, Be wary of the opponent, yes. But I do think, if you're going to play with 3 centre-halves in there, and you've still got Ampadu in there, there's enough protection there. There's got to be enough protection there. We've got to go impose our game plan. We've got to go, they're coming to Elland Road. I don't want to be sitting back and going direct and try to count out. I just want us to get the ball and just fucking play our football, whether it is direct, whether it is passing out from back, but go impose ourselves on them. The atmosphere is going to be absolutely electric at 8 o'clock on a Friday night, Elland Road. We need the players on the pitch to be given the license to go win the game. Hi, Matt. The away game against Forest is one of the most annoying games for me this season. Let's hope we go for this time. Well, yeah, exactly, Stephen. It was a horrendous watch. Yeah, go for it is exactly what I'm saying, mate. Exactly what I'm saying. We are going to win 2-1 on Friday. Can I just say as a Sunderland fan, why are you a lot worried about relegation? You only need 3 wins and you Leeds to get that home. Cheers, Gav. I suppose the turnaround of West Ham worries us a little bit. The scoring goals, I know they lost to Chelsea, thank goodness, but they look a little bit better. We haven't brought anybody in. There's a gamble. It's a bit negative now that deadline day ended the way it did. Me personally, the way I feel about the feel of the club and everything I'm seeing, bar Arsenal, we're doing pretty well. We almost beat Newcastle a few weeks ago. I don't feel like the wheels are falling off. I don't look at Leeds and think, oh Christ, wheels are falling off here. We're done for. I still think there's enough there. We've had a really good season. And with 2 points ahead of the point per game and all that the Farker goes on about. And I think we'll improve on that. We're looking forward to Friday night, heading to Leeds Friday morning, doing the hospitality. Our class, Tony. Oh, you have a brilliant time, mate. I'm sure you will. People worried about West Ham, says Brixham. Go and look at their fixtures. Left, Mike. Yeah, no, I agree, mate. But we've also got some tough fixtures the next 4 to 5. But after that, we've got a really good end to the season. But I know West Ham have got quite a brutal run after. So, yeah, I fully get that. How would our 7 defensive midfield and 3 strikers get on against Forest? Just asking for Sean Healy. Bit worried that 90% of the fans could see 3-5-2 as a way forward, but Farker took ages. Yeah, Farker does. Farker digs his heels in. I mean, how many times we called for stuff last season? But as basic as you just get that goalkeeper out, Melio keeps making mistakes, and he didn't. Farker doesn't go with the obvious, does he? But again, he has got us up 100 points. We're currently 6 points in front of relegation now. So to the board, it looks like he's doing a good job, but he'll always frustrate. Jason, he will always frustrate until he's no longer here. Alexander, Leeds are staying up. Yes, we are, mate. We don't need Gruev, says Jason, and Ampadu in midfield together. I don't mind which one comes out, but then both, there's very little creativity. I think Ampadu's actually created a little bit more this season, even having shots, from outside box. Not great ones, don't get me wrong. But I think Ampadu's got a little bit further forward and had a bit of an impact in an offensive capacity. He got the assist from out wide for the win against Fulham for Metcher. So I think he offers a bit more creativity. But I think if it's a toss-up between 2 Ampadu, 100 people out of 100 pick Ampadu over Gruev. But yeah, I don't think we need Gruev in there, mate. Marching on together, says John. 4 wins gives us 12 points, 14 draws gives us 14 points. Don't figure the negativity of going for draws. No, if we draw every game, Roger, we'll stay up. If we draw every game, we'll stay up. The bigger question is, how is Okafor still playing? He's been terrible. I think he plays, if we play 3-4-3, I think he plays on left. I don't think he'll play Buonanotte and Aronson. But the likelihood is, Jason, he plays a 3-5-2 and it's Aronson just off DCL and Okafor's on the bench. I think I would like to see a 3-4-3 with Buonanotte and Aronson, but I don't think that'll happen, so I'll put Okafor in there. I changed that side about 4 times before I came live. But I think he'll go 3-5-2 with Metcher. No, sorry, with Aronson. It would have been Metcher in my eyes, but again, whether he's fit or not, he wouldn't even play him anyway, would he? Okafor is a winger, and we're not playing him as a winger. Was Okafor bought on his performance from that against Leeds? Well, if he was, it's a daft ploy, it. Okafor has to play up front. Can't be Aronson. Prefer it to be Metcher. Yeah, Cooper. I would love to see Metcher and DCL up top. Obviously, that's not happening. Unfortunately, Nonto getting charity cameos. How do we know he's peak form? Yeah, he isn't going to start Nonto at all. 2-0 DCL double. Alexander, if there's a player you want to score in this game, it's DCL. I'm saying 3-2 Leeds. 2-0 Leeds, says Jason. 3-1 Leeds. Loads of people wanting Leeds, thinking Leeds will win. Lervish, how you doing, mate? 1-1, says Brixton. Tickle those likes from Matty. Close to 200 can we get for our Matty? 152 likes, 175 watching. I'm not going to moan at that, but thank you so much to everyone that's liked and watched. 2-1 says Martin. Rangers are beating Kilmarnock 3-0. Leeds game 2-1. Happy Dave then. Happy Dave. 3-1. Jamie Howdell. Look, so now you're dropping on there. This is what I mean, Jamie. That's my Jamie too. What's going on? I'm on the coach, mate. Yeah, I'll be rough, but we plough through. Take it steady, mate. I'll probably meet you at the ground for a pint. You will, pal, I'm sure. Why do you keep dropping out of different... Are you subscribed on both channels? That's what threw me out. I knew you were down as Jamie Howdell, then I've seen other Jamie, and I'm a bit thrown by that, but I'll take it. It doesn't take much to throw me, mate. I'm a bit dense. 1-0 Leeds, another late winner. Stephen, that will be immense. A late winner. Yeah, it'd be nice to be 3-0 up, wouldn't it, and just ease to a result, but that one at Fulham, unreal. Unreal, sets the roof off. Average 1 point a game and we stay up. 40 points, says Aidan. Jason, we've been playing well before Arsenal. We're so close to turning some draws into wins. You know what it is, right? The second half against Everton was so poor, it pissed a lot of people off. And then to get hammered 4-0 against Arsenal, and then deadline day, it sort of snowballed down a little bit to where it's a bit of a negative feel again now. So a win on Friday is essential just to pick up the vibe in the fan base for me. But you'll think that first half against Everton, only a game and a half ago, were one of the best performances we've seen this season, home or away. That first 45 minutes at Everton was fucking outstanding. Outstanding. If we don't, if second half, if we sort of don't sit back, which was a Farke instruction for me, we could have won that game, granted, but it was a decent first half performance. And then Arsenal, we didn't have a go against. It's been a game and a half really where we've sort of sat in and been, well off it. Conceded, lost that second half at Everton 1-0 and then lost, 3-0 4-0 at home to Arsenal. So last game and a half, we've lost 5-0. So I can understand why people are getting a little bit tetchy, but I don't think it's any more than just, we were happy with a draw at Everton, rightly or wrongly, and Arsenal can put 4 past anybody. I expect to see the Leeds we saw, against Fulham. I thought we played well. These home games of late, this season, Fortress Elland Road, we've been bloody brilliant. I expect to see that performance on Friday night and then sort of rectify the poor last game and a half. Buonanotte could play no force, but you get wipes forever, Steve. Of course he could. But if you watch the presser today, I personally feel he's talking himself out of playing Buonanotte for a while. A 1-0 shithouse. Yes, please. I'll take that, my mate. Danny Dovey. There he is, mate. How you doing, Dovey? Friday night, bouncing at Elland Road. Their arse will fall out. Will be a Chelsea at home repeat. Come on, Danny. Come on, son. Yeah, we win on Friday for me. I'm not going, mate. I'm not there tomorrow. I'm not, mate. Match, a watch along. So yeah, hopefully I'll have loads of you on here for watch along. We'll watch it together and then instant match reaction. Late night Leeds. I disagree. We slipped up against Newcastle and another team before Arsenal. Implosion. The cracks out of pit. Yeah, but Newcastle's Newcastle away, Roger. There's no guarantee you're going to go to Newcastle and beat them. But the performance was brilliant. It was a basketball game. It was entertaining. We just come the wrong side of it. On another day, 90 minutes against Newcastle, we're winning 3-2, and we lost it in injury time. It happens. It shouldn't happen. You don't want it to happen. But we're in games. We're playing good football. There's no way for me we look anything like a side that should go down. And I know that it doesn't mean anything if you still get relegated. You need points regardless of how you play. But I've seen enough, even in the defeats, bar the 2 Arsenal games, bar Brighton, Forest, Burnley. I can maybe name 5 or 6 out of the 20 odd we've played where I think that were well below par that. There haven't been many though. Tell a lie. I'm in the car with you now. See you Tuesday and subscribing on multiple to get your subscribers up. Always helping my pals, aren't I? Yes. I thought you might, Jamie. I kind of thought you might be on coach for Chelsea, but if you've just been in Hamburg for a weekend and you're going to be absolutely, just not in a... you're going to be fragile. Maybe laying on back seat at car, mate, might not be a bad shout as opposed to being on a Larry coach all day. So, yeah. You can out... Calling shotgun. You were there for shotgun. But laying down it back probably go well for you. Burger King Whites, as Dovey says. Burger King Whites. Come on, Leeds. No excuses Friday, Matty. That's all I asked on. Yeah, no excuses. Go win the game. Put a side out capable of attacking football. Go win the game. Don't need to sit back. Don't need to defend. Best form of defence is attack and all that. Just go do it. Matty, has you losing your licence got any bearing on the watch along? No, mate, it's not. Tomorrow, I just didn't get a ticket for the first time in a long time. And because I'm going to Chelsea, on Tuesday, and I'm going to Birmingham the week after. You know me, I always say I've not got a pot to piss in. I'm not bloody men of money. So I decided to take a hit on the Forest game. Plus I love late night Leeds, and I will pick doing late night Leeds on a Friday over most things. So the fact that I wouldn't have been able to do late night Leeds by the time I got home, it'd have been 11 o'clock. We'd have had to move late night Leeds to either probably the Thursday or skip it this week. Don't want to do that. So I've decided to take the hit on not going to this game. Not what to do with driving. Priestley picks me up if I need it, mate, or the wife will drop me down there. So it makes it harder, obviously. I'm having to rely on people, as I said in my video yesterday, which is heartbreaking and really stressful. And yeah, but no, it's not that, buddy, but thanks, mate. 100% record under the lights. I've seen that, Steve. Is it like 9 in 9 or something? Newcastle was very good. 2 for nearly an hour. And we got nothing. These good performances need to produce points, yeah. And we've produced enough points for the side that's come up so far, Richard, for me. There's going to be games like that where you come wrong side of it and they've got to learn and go again. I mean, you should never be conceding 4 goals in a game, should you? You score 3 away from home and you come away with nothing, then that's a failure. It's no good. The performance means nothing. But as a fan, seeing that my side can play at that level gives me confidence that we've got enough to beat someone like Forest. We've got Burnley to come at Elland Road, got Wolves to come at Elland Road. We only need 3 or 4 more wins and we're somewhere near. We'll beat Wolves at home, we'll beat Burnley at home, and I think we'll win this one. And all of a sudden, everything seems a lot more rosy. And that's by the performances where we've got results. The performances we haven't got results, like Newcastle. I've seen so much in the boys, and I've seen a lot in Farker at periods this season, to suggest, as a collective, we have more than enough to stay in this division. If we lose Friday, the players and Farker and the 49ers have to be held accountable, mate. Yeah, of course I do. There's nowhere else. There's nowhere else you can say. He has to get the lineup right. He has to get the tactics right. If it's not working and he gets his tactics wrong, he has to use the bench. He has to use the bench and get a result. Hope you're playing a tune on the way. I can put a tune on for you. I can put one on. Let me see what I've got on the backlog. I've got Marching On Together. I've got White and Gold, The Ballad of Gary Speed. I've got Scrapbook Memories. And I've got Imagine Not Being Leeds. And don't forget on Friday, we've got this. I'm in total disbelief, but who the hell is that in Matt Heath's teeth? No one's watched Late Night Leeds before. You won't have a chuffing clue what that is. We'll have a chat Tuesday, mate. Loved watching something different from your other video. Always here for you, buddy. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate that, buddy. Thanks so much, man. Really looking forward to seeing you now. I know you're going to be mint card as well. 4 home light wins. Imagine Not Being Leeds. What a song, Matty. I'll see you on Friday. Cheers, JB. Thanks so much, my mate. Class. We dodged a bullet playing Liverpool twice and Scum. Once they were both underperforming. Yeah, they were. Newcastle, at home early in the season, they were missing a few players. You've got to get the points in the games where you can get them. The main gripe for me is 8 games this season. We've conceded after the 90th minute 2 words, game management. Yeah, of course. Scrapbook Memory says Dave. Imagine Not Being Leeds says JB. Toxic if we don't get 3 points Friday, which players don't need. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't turn toxic. Hopefully it doesn't. Friday will be a great watch. Watch along a Late Night Leeds in party mood as we romp or win, need more beers in. Tell you what, 78 RPM saviour, it will be a fantastic night. If we get a win on watch along, go straight into a Late Night Leeds at 10 o'clock, straight into instant match reaction, talk about what we've just seen for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, hopefully a great performance. And then after about 45 minutes, Priestley gets home, he pops on screen, straight into quiz, a bit of Matt Heath's teeth. It's going to be a great night Friday. Hence why I've decided to take one for team and not go to a bloody game. Not to do with not getting a ticket, because I'd have bloody got one. I'd tried hard. I'd been refreshing. But I've decided not to go down that route. Save myself a lot of stress by not, refreshing for tickets. A nightmare. But give it a miss and we'll have a great Friday night on here. Everyone remember Late Night Leeds Friday. Yeah, it's going to be a totally different Late Night Leeds because we started with an instant match reaction. The first time we've ever done it after a game. I'm actually buzzing to see how it goes. But straight after we spoke about that, we're back into regular segments. Aisha Rose having a laugh at Matt Heath's teeth there. First time I've watched Jason Lee. I will be back. Thanks, buddy. Really appreciate it, man. Really do. Play Scrapbook Memories, Jonah's favourite. Have a good one, mate, MOT. Thank you. 9-1 to Leeds. Yeah. Imagine Not Being Leeds. Well, I know Harrogate and York City fans. Right, we'll leave it at that. I'm going to play Scrapbook Memories. In fact, let me just, because I get asked about this all the time, right? So, obviously, everyone knows now you can make AI songs and music and all that, yeah. But going back about, 8 months, 9 months, I made an album called Imagine Not Being Leeds. But I've always wrote music. I like singing. I can't play an instrument, unfortunately, but I love music. And I've always wrote songs, always wrote poems, a lot of love letters, but I never had a girlfriend at school. No one liked me. Fat with a mushroom haircut wasn't really the look. But yeah, I wrote these songs, but it's put through an AI. I think there you go. I put link in there. So if anyone wants to, you can actually download. I'm going to play Scrapbook Memories now, a song I wrote about my good friend. This is a song, people have heard it before. Wilco White's Mr. Sean Carney. You all know Sean Carney from Wilco White's and also used to be on Late Night Leeds. Good friend of mine. Told me a few stories about his childhood and stuff and how he used to, he couldn't afford to go to games, money was tight, and he used to little scrapbooks and get his stickers and stuff like his Panini stickers. And I wrote this song for him, told me he wanted me to write a song after I'd wrote a few. Sat down, it took me about 4 or 5 days. And yeah, run it through an AI machine, should I say? And it gave me this version because I can write music, but I can't put it into an actual full song because I'm not a musician, unfortunately. So I've got a Spotify there if you want to go check out the songs, but I will play you out with Scrapbook Memories. How's Matty? He should do, mate. He should do. Jamie Howard, you're multi-talented, mate. Singer, songwriter, and now you have a channel. You should be getting paid more. Cheers, Jamie. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I love music, as you know. But yeah, Spotify, go click on that link if it's clickable. I hope it is. Imagine Not Being Leeds on Spotify, on iTunes. It's on all them places. And go download the album. There's, I think, 7 or 8 songs on there. Yeah, hopefully you like it. I'm going to play you out now with Scrapbook Memories. I love you all. Thanks so much to Amy, the Everton fan, for the super chat. Thanks for everyone for liking and commenting. I'll be back on Friday for the watch along and Late Night Leeds as always. But take care, everyone. Thank you so much. And here is Scrapbook Memories. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
My uncle took me by the hand to Elland Road one day. The roar of the crowd, the sea of white, I was miles away. We couldn't go too often, money was tight at home, but every Saturday I'd find a way to make that team my own. Radio crackling hot my throat as they kicked off at 3. Highlights laid on telly nights, that was Leeds for me. I'd cut out all the paper clippings, stick them in a book. My scrapbook dreams, my childhood team, each memory I took. Chapman rising like a king, heading home with pride. Wallace dancing through the lines, defenders left behind. A midfield made of iron, grit and glory in their eyes. Leeds United, under Wilkinson we touched the sky. Panini stickers on my wall, your boy was the one. Thunderbolts from nowhere, Lord, those goals would stun. I traded school for every card just to get them all. Heroes on a budget, standing proud and tall. Chapman rising like a king, heading home with pride. Wallace dancing through the lines, defenders left behind. A midfield made of iron, grit and glory in their eyes. Leeds United, under Wilkinson we touched the sky. Didn't need the world to know us, didn't need the fame, just the badge, the fight that never died, the beauty of the game. From Batty's bite to Strachan's brain, every piece fit tight. They built a team and lit a dream in every Leeds kid's night. Chapman rising like a king, heading home with pride. Wallace dancing through the lines, defenders left behind. Yebo's thunder shaking nets, pure magic in disguise. Leeds United, under Wilkinson we touched the still hear the echoes in my heart from those old match day highs. Just a lad with a radio and scrapbook dreams, watching legends rise.